This is a full boss guide for the first Descendant boss, Devourer. Starting off with the first most important tip, which is you want to make sure you have a toxic resistance module upgraded to at least level 3. On top of this, you also want one toxic resist accessory. This would be a combined total of 1200 toxic resist. The more you have, the better. Also in the lower right of your inventory screen are your character's defensive stats. For me, the boss was taken out with the following defensive stats: 2100 HP, 500 shield, 4600 defense, and plus the 1200 toxic resistance. So I definitely recommend your shield and HP having a total value near 2600. Any combination will be fine. So you can also have 1000 HP plus 1600 shield. For your chosen weapons, you want them at their highest level. You can quickly do this via weapon level transmission at the upgrade bench. A separate guide for this will be linked below, but the upgrade bench can be found in Albion near the weapon trader named Descendant. The next most important tip is you want to save your high damage abilities for the boss's 3 health tank special. In the case for Lee Epic, Bunny and Blair, their 4th abilities have the highest damage. So for the Epic, you want to use all 3 shots on one of the healing tanks. Another important tip is by the 7 minute and 30 second mark, you should have dropped all the boss's shields and have done 20% HP damage to it. It should use its first triple tank special by the 7 minute and 15 seconds mark. If it does not use its special by this time, it is highly recommended to leave and start over. The final most important tip is if you're unable to take out the healing tanks quick enough, it is again highly recommended that you leave and restart. So after it uses its first triple tank healing special, you want to destroy all 3 before the boss regenerates more than 40% of its HP. Once you've destroyed all 3 tanks, the boss's HP should be at 100% plus 5% of its shield. If it is not at this HP, it is highly recommended to leave and start over. As always, weapon loadout is also very important. Definitely want to go with the scout rifle for gun 1, tactical or beam rifle for gun 2, and a pierce type assault rifle for your final gun. If you find yourself struggling in groups, there are benefits of going in solo mode. All HP of the enemies, including the boss, scale to the amount of people in the group. So if you're in solo mode, the boss and the healing tanks will have less HP. This also means you don't have to worry about reviving or not being able to do enough damage to the tanks. At the start of the fight, you want to stand behind this second structure and be sure to have your scout rifle equipped for your heavy damage. Once the boss is fully standing or starts shooting you, press your recaive scan button and start damaging either of his shoulder weak points. You should be doing at least 8000 yellow damage per shot. He has a few attacks at this stage. For his shoulder rockets, you want to roll away from them. These will also spawn toxic spikes where they have landed, so roll away from the area. His gun has 2 shooting variations. One is where it's fully auto, just dodge and roll out of this. The second variation is a slightly slower fire rate but leaves a toxic area where the shot lands. So again, you want to roll or grapple away. Once the shoulder weak point is golden, grapple onto it and take it out. Switch to your burst or precision weapon while falling back onto the ground. Once you land onto the ground, roll around to the front of its head. Here, when it's in recover mode, always aim for the blue eye weak point, so be sure to also press your recaive scan button once you've landed. Use your burst or precision type weapon and aim for the eye weak point. Continue rolling and grappling out of dodge when it uses his attacks. Once the boss is back up and standing, you can either finish off the eye weak point or move on to the knee weak point. I'd recommend switching to the knee weak point at this range unless you're confident with your aim. Also, you're going to be moving on to the knee weak point anyway after you break the eye. For the knee weak point, switch to your pierce weapon or continue with your burst weapon. Here you should be doing 5k yellow damage per shot. One very important tip is when the boss is using one of its attacks, don't walk reload out in the open. You want to sprint reload or grapple and roll towards cover and then reload. If you ever do take any lethal damage, get behind cover that cannot be broken by the boss's shots. These are places all around the map. Once you've taken out the first knee weak point with your precision gun, be sure to save 80 ammo for your precision weapon. This is because you want to save your precision weapon for damaging his triple healing tank special. Therefore, you want to switch to your second rifle, and this is the tactical rifle for us. As mentioned at the start, we're at the 7 minute and 15 seconds mark, and he has used his first triple tank special. Once he's fully highlighted in green or is immune to your shots, this is when he will use the special. One of the health tanks will spawn near the location you were when the boss first becomes immune, so stay close to the area you were in. Press your high damaging ability before the tank spawns, as some abilities take a long animation time. Next, use all 3 shots on the health tank, then instantly move to the next healing tank location by rolling and grappling. Switch to your Pierce AR and aim for the tip of the tank. Do not worry if the boss moves towards you or if he moves to the tank location. Just focus on taking out the tanks. It should take a full clip plus a few bullets from the next clip. Take out the final tank, again not worrying about anything else. After all 3 tanks are taken down, you want to check the boss's HP, as it should be at 100% plus 5% of his shield. If it is above 15% shield, I'd recommend restarting. With this said, get back to the boss and take out the 5% of shield again by damaging the core or the other knee weak points. Also at this stage, if you think the droid minions are getting too close, start taking a few of them out. Once the other knee weak points are broken, move onto the center core with any of your guns. Again, making sure you save 100 pierce ammo for the next set of tank specials. This is his animation for his multiple spike attack. Just roll out of the way or get behind cover. Once you do enough damage, the center core changes golden, grapple onto it and break it. After you break the center core, take out the other eye weak point. After that, you want to focus on the last shoulder weak point. You can also damage the center core if you can't get an angle on the shoulder. Break the final grapple weak point. After all weak points are broken, you want to mainly aim for the shoulder or the eye area of the head for maximum damage. Once the boss is on its final 10% of HP, it will use its final health tank special. Use the exact same tips as before and take out the first tank with your high damaging ability, and then the rest of the tanks with your damage piercing weapon. Once you take out all 3 tanks again, the boss should be near 45% HP. If you have 1 minute and 45 seconds, this will be enough time to defeat it. Again, aim for its shoulder and core. One final tip is be aware of this range, as it can actually do a half sprint melee attack which will hit you even if you roll away.